begin tonight with Nigeria's judicial system, where legal officials are facing a crisis of confidence. This is according to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, who named corruption, delay in justice delivery, and perceived bias as some of the factors undermining public trust in the judiciary. Addressing participants at this year's hybrid refresher course of judges of superior courts of record in Abuja, Chief Justice Kekere-Ekun says Nigeria's legal system is facing intense scrutiny over its handling of high-profile cases, as many Nigerians question the fairness and integrity of the judicial process. Experts say a lack of public trust weakens the efficacy of Nigeria's legal system, which makes it rather difficult for the courts to deliver on their core mandate, to deliver justice. Now let's bring in Jide Ologun, a lawyer and social development advocate, for more on this story. He joins me from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
What do you make of Chief Justice Kekere-Ekun's remarks?
I commend her boldness to confront this issue. And of course, according to her, these challenges not only weaken the judiciary's authority, but also erode public confidence. And justice is challenged when public confidence is eroded. And then, according to her too, is creating a dangerous disconnect between the courts and the society they are expected to serve. And when the society begins to lose confidence in the judicial system, then we may have a resort to jungle justice. And I really don't want that to happen in the country. But interestingly, she is the chairman of the National Judicial Council of Nigeria. And some of the functions of the National Judicial Council is the appointment, promotion, and discipline of judicial officers. So she is the chairman of the council that oversees the ecosystem of the judicial system in Nigeria. And then the council has been coming up with various reforms to protect and preserve the sanctity of the judiciary. But like a wise man said, the biggest room is the room for improvements, because our goal is to have a system that is fair, speedy, and meets the hope of all men. So let me throw more light on the concerns here. Reportedly, during the tenure of Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun as the Chief Justice of the Federation of Nigeria, he came out at the time to tell the world that about 6,284 cases gathered dust in the Supreme Court, and that is the highest court in the land. And that was the time when only 13 justices were left, unlike what is provided for the Constitution for 21 justices. But before Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun left, we had a full complement in the Supreme Court. But how far has that reflected in the speedy delivery of justice? But let me say this. When you talk about the NJC, the mission is for it to serve efficiently and, of course, effective administration of justice in Nigeria. And the vision is a judiciary that is integrity-driven, with adequate measure to enhance timely and equitable dispensation of justice in Nigeria.
Let me come in there. Let me come in there quickly, Mr. Ologun. You have said it twice, speedy delivery of justice. With the exception of the absence of fact or evidence, why does it take so long to deliver judgment on a case in Nigeria? And what should be the average turnaround time for the delivery of justice?
You say it's a plethora of issues, talking perhaps because of the infrastructural challenges, because at the time, even the justice of the Supreme Court came out to complain that they were not well equipped for the services they render. There may also be distractions, and sometimes the bar, and I'm talking of the lawyers now that approach the courts, they can also bring delays. But the bench has the power to prevent that delay and send strong signals and strong fines on lawyers who, because I can let you know, in some cases, lawyers bring frivolous applications while matters are going on. We have a case now in the High Court here in Lagos, Ikeja, that commenced in 2011. And we have not even had hearing. The trial has not taken place. In fact, the Honorable Justice handling the matter has been lifted to the Court of Appeal. So the matter will now be reassigned to another judge. There are issues like that. We have a case also in the Supreme Court right now that we don't even know when date will be given for the case. In fact, as at the first quarter of 2024, Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun herself came out to tell the world that the Nigerian Superior Courts of Records, excluding the Supreme Court, had accumulated a total of 243 and 253 pending cases. You can imagine. And out of this, about 199,747 were civil cases, and about 43,506 were criminal cases. And she expressed her dismay at all this, and at a point that some judges have even failed to deliver a single judgment over an entire quarter. So what do we do about that? But like I said,
Ologun, exactly. What do we do about that? You mentioned infrastructural challenges. Could you explain what you mean by that? What sort of infrastructure do lawyers need to do their job and deliver justice?
When some of the honorable justices in the Supreme Court went complaining and then expressed their concerns openly, they even said at a time that they were not equipped with internet facilities to drive their services to the citizens. You see, there are several issues connected. We've been to court where there was no electric supply for these people to operate. So it's a combination of issues. But by and large, I think the National Judicial Council should come up with a mechanism to evaluate the performance of the legal officers on the bench, and not just. Right now, I may ask a simple question. I just wrote out some statistics now, but what has been done by NJC to carry out a deep research into how many judges are lagging behind, what are the reasons, carry out a comprehensive survey, and come up with a strategic mandate to advise them on how to move. Because you will notice that some of these cases are just mere civil cases and criminal cases.
Exactly.
When it comes to high-profile cases, sometimes, except for those in financial crimes, it may not be delayed. And then a solution was brought into the electoral sector of the judicial interventions, which was time-bound. So why can't we also do the same? Why can't we? I just mentioned that we have a case in court since 2011, talking about 14 years now.
Mr. Ologun.
And it's a matter. So why don't we come up at the state levels, at the nation, everywhere, to say, okay, now, if this matter is about tenancy, within 3 months, we must conclude. And you focus on it. And like I said, the judges should be firm on lawyers who come to introduce different kinds of applications, and so it's a symbiotic approach, a wholesome approach that we need.
Has there been any time in the history of Nigeria's judicial system that you felt things were better? And what will it take to address the issues that you have raised also?
Let me say this. When you talk about change management, it involves implementing approaches to prepare, support individuals, teams, and leaders in making organizational change. So it's not just what we call hardware. It's also software. You must deal with the mindsets of those who are involved, look at their conditioning in industrial psychology, and see how you can change it. And we have what we call the 5 C's of change management. We talk about clarity. What exactly do you want to achieve with the change management? Clarity. We talk about communication. How do you communicate? I've suggested here. What survey have we carried out? And it's a good thing now she's addressing these judges, and they come together, and when you after communication, you have collaboration. It's a teamwork. There are issues that must be collaborated upon, and you talk about culture. I must say it's as if we now have a culture of delay in justice in Nigeria. Obviously so. I've told you You may go to Supreme Court now and find out the dates in the cases that have been attended to. It may amaze you that maybe as we speak now, it may be cases of 2013, and we're in 2025. You see, so you talk of clarity, you talk of communication, you talk of collaboration, you talk of culture, and you talk about commitment. And the commitment comes when you have achieved the desired change. And we now say we must be committed to this. And that is where the NJC will have to come in again to say, okay, there will be penalties. And you must monitor, you must measure. What you don't measure, and you cannot really give account over. And Bill Clinton said the price of doing the same old thing is far higher than the price of change. So we must go for that change.
That's right.
And Charles Kettering said, the world hates change, yet it is the only thing that has brought change. So we need change.
We're going to have to leave it there.
It's a society
valid point
bereaved of justice. It's a threatened society. And let me conclude by saying that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And those are the wise words of Peter Drucker. So I am, also encouraging the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun, to be bold enough to challenge some of these issues.
And she's doing that, it appears. Thank you so much, Mr. Jide Ologun. We're going to have to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the program tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless Nigeria.